rules, um, just soft rules. And the soft rules are be kind to yourself, be kind to your own body, mind, be kind to whatever you need to be kind to. All right, now we are in the live. Okay, yeah, so I was just telling my Zoom room that we are doing, oh, what's going on? I'm like, this is so weird. The spotlight has done weird things. Like YouTube, yeah, Zoom has changed its format, and I'm like, what is going on? This is very confusing. It's just me and my Luddite nature. So we're doing spacious imperfection because I've been thinking about it like as an artist and as a creative person and as a human being in the world, like how do I express in the world? Like how perfect do things need to be before I can set them free or before I can let them go? And I find that actually the less perfect it is, it's kind of the better in a really weird way. Not maybe if I was, I don't know, it's more fun for me. Let's put it that way. It's more enjoyable for me. And I've been thinking about like the sort of contraction that goes with perfectionism and the like kind of tight, squeezy holding. So the invitation is to let go of that. And in this session, you can do this in any way that feels good to you, seated, laying down, all fours, downward dog, whatever. Let your body be let your body show you the way. So, a lot of times, if we've spent our whole lives telling our bodies what to do, letting our body have some freedom to do its own thing is can be weird and can be destabilizing. So, if that happens, just get up, walk around, have a drink of water, go to the bathroom, do something like that. But let's start with just taking a minute to drop in into our breath, to receive ourself in this moment. And in all of our imperfection, and to forgive ourselves for anything that we're that we perceive as being bad, wrong, imperfect, and just embrace that. Let that be a good thing. So just taking a few breaths into that. And forgiving ourselves. Yeah, deep forgiveness. Oh, I couldn't do everything perfect today. I tried, but it didn't work. That's okay. I can lean into that. So letting ourselves rest back into our imperfection, like resting back into it, finding the back body, the back space that has no judgment about that. It's just like, oh, that's what happened. And I'm going to invite in, let's use the theta breath. So the theta breath is a soft hiss, like a very, very gentle snake. And you're inviting in with that theta breath just the chance to slow down your exhale, tune into a more parasympathetic rest and digest, soothe and settle state. But you're also going to allow any kind of micro movement to bubble up in your spine, head tail connection, in your any part of your body that wants to move. So, and you can take resting breaths whenever you need. I'll do a couple and then we'll just head off into the wilderness of the theta breath. So, just a big inhale and then a very gentle exhale. And it's almost like you're really lightly letting the air out of a balloon. Like that's what makes the awful squeaky noise, squeegee noise, but just so that it's coming out. And I feel like for me, what I'm noticing right away is as I go into that slow exhale, I feel myself like deflating and releasing, but in a really nice way. So maybe tuning into that, the feeling of letting go with the breath. You don't have to breathe at the same time as me. Just inhale whenever you feel ready. Exhale for as long as it feels good. And we're not trying to extend it to infinity. However long it lasts, feeling good is fine. And eyes can be open or closed. we're going back and forth. It's not like we have these hard rules about how this has to happen. Allowing the fluid nature of your body of water, to kind of express in whatever way feels good, like you're sort of pouring yourself around from the inside. And as you're tuning into that, maybe noticing this relationship between inner space and outer space, the space around you, the space inside you. Inviting your system just to become more fluid and more in the flow of life. So for me, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my experience. As I close my eyes and go in and go into that breath sound, I sort of feel like this whole movement into the back space, and I also feel this fluidity. And I can kind of pour myself around in there. And as I'm in there and I'm slowing down, I start to feel little tension patterns in different areas, like in my jaw or in my neck. And once I sort of notice them, then they start to shift and change. They become sort of more nebulous. So if you come across a tension pattern and you feel like you're fighting with it, just let go of the fight. It can be there. You don't have to fix it. It's not a problem. If you come across anything within the system, you don't need to fight it. You can just go, oh, that's what's there. So coming across whatever you come across with a sense of equanimity, of just openness, of spaciousness. No need to fix anything right now. If you start to feel like you're following a pattern or you know where you're going, you're on a path that's familiar, just change it slightly, move in a slightly different direction, slow it down, speed it up, or pause for a second and let yourself maybe retrace your steps so you can go back and come to new places. So, what we're trying to do is move into territory that's new and unfamiliar. So we're stepping into a new river each moment, a new river of being, a new river of exploration and experience without going, oh, I know what this is. So we're not putting that boundary of our knowing on any of this. We're just in the inquiry of like, what is going on? What does this actually feel like? What am I feeling now? Is there something that I'm holding on to that I could let go of? Sometimes our rigidity is something that we can hold ourselves onto. What happens if I soften that? Just become a little lighter, easier, smoother. No need to hold the rigidity. Let it go. And it's almost like you're born into a new world, into a new body, into a new moment. And you can play within that space. Inquire into that space. There isn't a right or wrong. Adding the theta breath whenever it feels interesting. And allowing your nervous system to kind of unwind, just get a little bit easier. Inviting in the sense of spaciousness, this like expansiveness. And how do we find it? We can find it by letting our bodies explore our kinesphere. So we have an embodied sensation of what that is. Or just through our awareness, letting our awareness dance around in the space around us. The three-dimensionality of being. And if things are adjusting or moving, go let yourself adjust and move. Yes, I'm going to take it down onto the floor. And I think I'm going to add a sound down here. And so you can do the sound or not, whatever feels comfortable for you. But I want to play with ooh and ah. So ooh has kind of like a, if I do an ooh with my lips kind of in a little circle, ooh, then my air is kind of going right out there in the sagittal dimension, forward, backward, not backward, but forward, ooh. If I do an ah, I'm kind of opening up into the vertical in my mouth. So ah, ooh, ah. And like my eyebrows like to go with my mouth, ah, ooh, ah, right? My whole face kind of opens and closes. So play with that, letting your face open and close. It doesn't matter what you look like. Let go of the idea of looking wonderful and cool, and just let yourself be weird. Be a weird creature, playing with the ah and the ooh. And if it feels uncomfortable to make the vocal sound, you can also do it with just ah, ooh, ah. So the forwardness of that ooh and the height of the ah, giving yourself that sense of expanse. And let your body play in any way that feels interesting, micro movement or macro movement, being a really three-dimensional system of biotensegrity, like we're alive, we're living systems. Wow. So for me, it's been really much more interesting to stay in kind of a small ooh and a small ah. Play in any way that feels good. And you may become interested in just the sound that you're making or the sounds that you're hearing, but it may also be the sensation of vibration in your body that is interesting or anything else. So allow your awareness to just play in whatever is it's drawn to, whatever's interesting, whatever's curious. And it's, for me, it's almost like a moving image that just keeps changing, almost like if you saw like an old-fashioned film projector playing out this stream of light. Like I feel like it, where you can almost not even grab onto images, but you can maybe just see colors and movement. So when I play with those sounds, sometimes that's sort of my experience of if that was a feeling, that dance of light and movement, that is kind of what I feel like is going on inside of me. This moving, shifting thing. It's not stuck, it's not rigid, it's alive and shifting, changing in the flow. And if you come to start thinking about, oh, what does this look like? Just let that idea go. Just go into what does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? Mm. Can I tune into the spaciousness all around me and inside of me? And let go of my ideas of who I should be or what I should do or what's happening next or what happened before, but just be in the moment of sensation with permission to move and make noise, do whatever it is you need to do or want to do. And it's not to say that there's absolutely no tension in your body. Like your muscles can do things and then let go of things, or you can have little activities going on. You're just not grabbing onto and holding onto any of those. So it's this stream of movement, stream of awareness. And you could all be doing it all in stillness. You don't even need to be moving. Like the awareness, the experience can be as much of a dance in stillness or in tiny, tiny micro movement as it is in bigger movement. So inviting yourself to play with that in any way that's interesting. And I'm going to give us music to play with. Yeah, well, so the music is going to be Jeff Gersh, Ambient Fields. One of these days I'll buy some more. But let's go with this piece called Unformed from a little EP by Ambient Fields. Let yourself move in any way that feels good, or be still in any way that feels good. Shedding your perfectionism like a coat, right? Taking off that old skin, sloughing off that old skin. What's there if I don't have that? Can I be more playful, more free, more expressive, more honest? My own personal perfectionism has a lot of judgment. Often it's aimed at other people, sometimes at myself. My life feels much better when I can take some of that off or recognize it and go, oh, I'm being judgmental. I can let that go. It doesn't always have to happen. And I feel like forgiveness is a big part of it too. Forgiveness for myself. If I notice I'm doing something judgmentally, if I'm judging other people for their imperfection, can I forgive myself for being like that? My imperfection of being imperfect. If I think about it in that way, it becomes sort of humorous and ridiculous. And when I can notice it, I can separate from it a little bit and find more space around it. Carving a new reality for being. It's not in the old pattern, it's in the new patterns that are coming, that I'm noticing and playing with. I'm allowing. So that's the thing with the body, is like to allow movement to bubble up. And if it isn't happening, nudge it, give a little push, and then spend time in there and see, what would feel good? What would create that inner space? Or can I dance with the space around me? Oh yeah, it's like a full moon. It was a full moon last night. So we're in that full moon energy. The full moon is shining her bright light on us. Ah. So that means maybe a little extra dose of equanimity, of allowing, because there's definitely some lunacy going on. Invite your imagination in as well. It doesn't have to stay outside. Imagination can be part of the big game, part of the big play. If you meet any part of yourself that seems scary, just accept it. No need to change it. Just accept it as part of the what is. Or anything that comes up, any kind of old patterns in your body, they don't have to leave. They can have space there too. You're already containing all of it, so there's room. And if you find some pleasurable flows that call you in, see if you can allow them to also change and shift. So try not to grasp onto them and keep them in the same mode, but give them the spaciousness to shift and change. Like there's breath around everything. The through line of breath moving through it all, breath around it all. So we did the ooh and the ah with the forward, the sagittal, and the vertical, and the ah. Let's just add it sort of toward the end, an e, an opening, widening sound. So it could be with no vocals, or it could be easy, open, expansive, finding that sort of horizontal plane in your face, in your body, that like the whole ocean surface is right there in that E, widening, opening, expansive, if that feels interesting. You could also stay with the ooh or the ah or silence. But I just want to add that third sharing and caring space of the E sound. Doesn't matter where your pitch is. You can even shift with the E, ooh, ah, and just feel how they land in your body in different ways. Ooh, yeah. So adding that three-dimensionality even through vibration, finding space through sound. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I know this song is about to get really loud. So I'm just going to stop the music for a while and let us just play with our own sounds. If it's interesting. If sound feels weird, get over it and just try it anyway. Yeah. Tuning into vibration through sound, giving us that real multiple dimensionality with vibration. Ooh, ooh, yeah. And it may feel different for you. It may not be the same as what it is for me. Just offering that play. Or that frees up my face a lot when I don't do the vocal sound, but just aspirated. It's like the grandmother is coming in to speak the truth of thousands of years. Those sounds also feel very spacious to me because there's a lot of internal awareness with them, but there's this breath going out. So there's this balance for me often of the inner sort of tempest happening and then the outer expression moving out. And the tempest can be fun and playful. It doesn't have to be horrible. Swirls, ripples, eddies of the fluidity within our body, interacting with the fibrousness of our bodies, interacting with the breath and the oxygen. Different levels of density. Just finding that spaciousness. And there's no right or wrong, no perfect way, just letting us be in the play so that there's no rules. Curiosity, inquiry, and noticing, allowing. And also, every day is going to be different, even if you do the same thing. Like just feeling into what is it now? What's this moment? What's coming up now, or what's coming in now? Maybe just taking a couple of minutes of stillness, if that feels good to you. Stillness is usually challenging for me, but sometimes it's a great way just to end with letting your body process whatever's gone on. And we're not clamping anything down. We don't need to hold on to anything. Whatever happened in your experience is just what happened. All right, so people in TV land, I'm going to stop the live stream and